we continue our week-long series, Island Hopping, featuring the music, food, products, and people of our unique Hawaiian islands. And today, it's all about Kaho'olawe, the smallest of the 8 main islands. And despite its modest size, there's no shortage of its rich history. And joining us this morning with more on the Forbidden Isle is Mike Naho'opi'i, Executive Director of the Kaho'olawe Island Reserve Commission. Aloha, Mike.
Aloha. Well, thank you for having me on the show today.
Yes, and I know you're fresh back from the island of Kaho'olawe. You just got back yesterday. We're going to talk about what you were doing there over the weekend in just a bit. But why don't we start off the conversation, Mike, with you getting our viewers up to speed as to what's the latest with Kaho'olawe. I think we were talking about, some of the misconceptions is cleanup efforts are pau, but that's just not the case.
Well, Kaho'olawe was returned back to the state of Hawaii in 1994 from the Navy. The Navy used it for over 50 years as a bombing range. But before that, there were goats for almost 200 years on the island, which devastated the vegetation on the island. So our efforts today, after a 10-year Navy cleanup, is we're trying to restore that vegetation on the island. The denuded hard pan that's just lets water run off its surface and is causing silt in the ocean. Our job is try to stop that water, try to stop the erosion, try to restore this land for a future Hawaiian nation. Kaho'olawe was set aside for a Native Hawaiian government once one is recognized, and our job is try to prepare it today, so to get ready for that time.
And you're doing that in a sense of replanting and trying experimental cultivation, right? You're doing all sorts of things because you can't dig very deep in the soil.
Well, we're very limited because of the unexploded ordnance that was on the island. Even though the Navy did a 10-year cleanup on the island, only about 75% of the island was cleared of unexploded ordnance on the surface, and only about 10% was cleared down to 4 feet.
So we're not talking about deep, because deep under, there are still things.
There are still things under the ground in a lot of the areas. So a lot of our planting is we try to build up the soil. There's a lot of soil blowing in the wind, so we create different ways of catching the wind to build up that dirt that we can plant into those soils, mounds.
Talk about the funding that you get at Kirk, the money that was set aside is not going to be there forever.
Yes, the Kirk, or the Kaho'olawe Island Reserve Commission, we're a part of the state government. We're a state agency. We're funded by a trust fund that was set aside from the cleanup. We got a portion of this larger federal funding, and we project right now about maybe a 3-year, we have 3 years left on our funding. Right now we're looking at new ways to bring in money to help continue this effort for a long time more to come.
And of course, I mean, because there's more than 3 years of work left for the island of Kaho'olawe. So we'll be talking about that coming up at 6:40 this morning on exactly what you'll be using to bring Kaho'olawe back to life. Well, we get some history about the Forbidden Isle and what it was used for back in the ancient days of Hawaii. And if you want to see this interview again, you can always head to the top video section of our website, KITV.com. Mahalo, Mike, for joining us this morning, and we can't wait to sit down with you in just a bit. Stay with us.